Afternoon. How's everybody doing? Chilling. All right, just gonna let a few more people come in, and then I'm gonna start. Well, let's get in and start the event now. Let's start it so it can send out another. All right, so we got a few topics we're gonna discuss. Um, let's give a few more people. Let me see. 4, 8, 12, 13. Let's see if we can get 3 more people, and then we'll just get started. One, two. All right, let's just go ahead. All right, so today's topics is going to be OTR versus Final Mile, how to lower your costs, and what happened to Amazon Relay. All right, so I want to start it in order. So the first thing I want to talk about is OTR versus Final Mile. I just want to get people's thoughts, when it comes to OTR, when it comes to Final Mile, and just get a general consensus of what you guys enjoy doing more of and why. All right, so the floor is open. Just make sure you don't have anybody muted because if you do, you won't be able to hear them talk and then you end up talking over them. But I'm just moderating it, you know what I'm saying? So the floor is open. So whoever wants to go first, the floor is yours. Anybody? Somebody?
Hey, Mark, Manny talking right now. You might got him mute, but Manny talking.
Market. So I went on the road just to come out here and get this different type of money. If anybody is in South Florida successfully doing Final Mile, I'd like to hear about it. And if you could share that sauce with me, it would be greatly appreciated.
I was in South Florida, but then it's the money just wasn't that good. I like well maybe it was because the companies that I found just weren't that good, and so I ended up going to New York because here sometimes every once in a while it's like some like right now I'm doing this contract that I have with LKQ and it's going pretty good. They're paying me pretty good.
There's a LKQ actually about 15 minutes from where I live. So maybe did you go to their website specifically to apply, or is it kind of like another 3PL has a contract with them?
Nah, cause right now, mentioned to you guys before. I talked like it was for a while that I had. It was a while ago that I had talked about it, but I ended up getting like screwed over by like because I tried making this business work, but I ended up like getting fucked over by this other company. So I went into just as like a driver sort of, and we got a contract with this company, and the way they did it is the broker just well, the dispatcher found the broker, and yeah, that's how. But it's still pretty good. But I'm trying to find the way to get in contact with LKQ, so we could just cut the dispatcher and the broker out, so that way we could make more money.
Hey, is this
Man, can
is
you hear me?
Manny? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I couldn't hear you at first, but were you answering the question to the first topic, or were you just talking about something else? Because I don't think you could hear me, or I could hear you.
Yeah, well, I can hear Mark if Mark can't hear me right now, but I can hear him.
Yeah. So was that what you were just talking about? Was that an answer to OTR versus final mile, or?
Yeah, more or less, I was just saying that I think it depends on the market that you're in. My market down here in South Florida, when I first had my go around at applying and looking for final mile stuff, I never actually got to work with anybody. And I ended up, trying many things. And right now I'm doing OTR, which has paid more than has been. It's not that consistent, but it has been more consistent than the moving. But I understand that if I was just to 100% dedicate myself to moving, I could do that too. But that's got nothing to do with the 3PL. But I was just giving my thoughts since no one said anything that final mile versus middle mile is going to depend on where you're at. I think so.
So you think OTR is better in your market than Final Mile?
That's my opinion right now. But I'm actually working my way back to Florida. I'm in Mississippi right now. And once I get down there is when I'm going to start throwing some more applications out for these other companies that you guys have been mentioning. And then I'll give it a go and I'll see what kind of contract I can get with them to do local work. But I haven't heard anyone at all tell me that Final Mile is working for them in South Florida. So I'm talking Palm Beach County, Broward County, Miami.
Would it be fair to say that you didn't do a market research, or did you?
I'm sorry.
Sounded
Clear
like he
Polo
said.
cut out, so I didn't hear the rest of what he said.
Sounded like he said. Is it fair to say that you didn't do any market research before you got started?
Correct.
All right. Anybody else? OTR versus final mile. What's your thoughts? And give your reasons why you think one is better than the other. I know there's some final mile people in here. J. Cole, what's your thoughts? Because I know you did both.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
All right. So yeah, I did a little bit of both. For me, I think it's all situational. It depends on each situation. But I've found Final Mile as far as for me and my company, we run better. It's more security for one. And just put it in the simplest terms, a lot of people are not gonna do the work. So as long as you got a crew that'll actually do the work, and I that's one of my advantages that I have. Um, yeah, I'd rather give me do final mile all day every day.
So how
Yeah.
long did you do OTR, J. Cole?
I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't do it maybe a month because like when I first got my truck, I wanted to just try it out. Like, cause I've never driven a box truck before. So I wanted like one of my friends, he had a CDL, so he took me out on the road. He was doing OTR and it was cool, but I didn't like relying on the spot market. You had to rely on the rates. I wanted something more dedicated. So final mile to me is just knowing we run 6 days a week, seven sometimes. So I know I got work um for all my trucks consistently every day.
So in your opinion, it'd be easier to
Which
find final mile work versus OTR
yeah,
for
for like
beginners.
where I'm at, yeah, where I'm at it's a lot more easier to find people, what I'm saying, that's willing to work with their hands. Because I work with a lot of guys who they might not necessarily be able to, get hired on at other places due to their background. So I most of my guys are like that, but they show up every day and do the job every day, so we don't have any issues. So I
Hey,
just
I
think
got
it's
a
situational, like Manny was saying, depending on your market.
I got a quick question about that. Like you said, hired because of your background. So what if I put it in my partner name and then I'm the driver? Can you do that? Or they like, no, it's not in your name. So how does that work exactly?
I mean, it depends from what I've done. It just depends on the 3PL, right?
Uh huh.
So it depends on each individual 3PL. Like right now, um, and I don't even know if I'm supposed to put this information out there, but I'm driving my truck right now. But it's not me on the truck. See what I'm
All
saying?
right, say less then. I bet.
Okay.
I
So
already know. That's
Hmm.
all
so
I need. Man, I ain't
transportation,
fucking with
you
you, bro.
OTR.
I'm not fucking with you, bro.
It's a panel right now, man.
Oh,
So transportation, you OTR right now. Do you prefer OTR or local or final mile? What you prefer?
of
Why?
course I prefer. So I didn't even know he was on the panel. I would say I prefer OTR, and like a lot of people don't like looking on the load board, but my situation a little different from everybody else. A lot of people, their situations are different. So, but me, I prefer OTR.
Is it because it's easier for you to find work, or you just like
Correct. Yeah,
OTR?
it's easier. It's easier for me than other people because a lot of people they don't think ahead. So like right now, I got a load I'm picking up and I'm about to drop off. So I'm looking for tomorrow and the next day also. So, but yeah, it's a little easier for me. But yeah, I prefer OTR.
Being that you prefer OTR, what's your thoughts on final mile though?
That's good
Would
too
you ever
because
consider
you
doing
at
it?
home. Yeah, of course. If the money right, of course. Yeah, I think that's the end goal for everybody. You know what I'm saying? But right now, for me, what I'm doing and what's running it up, these what they say this cheap freight. I'm taking one right now. Some of this cheap freight.
So you feel like you could run it up a little bit more with OTR than final mile in your situation?
Yeah, of course. Yes. Oh yeah, over there. Put this over some. Put that pallet on side of there. Then I'm gonna trap that over there. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, all right. Anybody else? Anybody else? OTR versus final mile. Well, let's just say yeah, OTR. Let's keep it OTR versus final mile. OTR versus final mile.
If you driving cargo van OTR final mile, you can put your input in on that too. because it's all transportation. So anybody want to speak from the cargo van side of it?
I'm about to start plucking people out now.
Hey, Michael, you still there? Michael, you still there?
Shark World, you did both, I think. Or you tried to get into Final Mile, right? Or did you do it for a little bit? Anybody's thoughts on OTR versus Final Mile?
Goat Magicians, what's your thought on it? Do you have an opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I do OTR. I never did Final Mile. I mean, I never found nothing in my area. I mean, I really never looked either. When I got in the game back in November, I just I just went straight OTR. At least at first I had a boy that was doing it already. So I basically leased on to his joint for about 6 months. Once my authority went 6 months in June, I started using my MC and I've been good ever since. So I mean, I like OTR. I don't mind. I got older kids, and I'm not about to. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm 41. I'm not about to be hot. I worked in warehouses for like 20 years. I was lifting tile. I did all that. So my time with lifting all that stuff, I'm not about to be lifting refrigerators and all that. That's just me. Like that's not. I'd rather back up to a dock. I mean, you're not backing up to every dock and just not working, but you got to still push pallets and stuff. But I'm not about to be lifting refrigerators and lifting appliances upstairs. I'm not. If maybe I would have did it when I was 30. If I knew about it back then, I would have probably did it. But I'm fine with OTR. I like OTR. I like going to different places and just traveling. So yeah.
If you had the chance to find a final mile contract in your market where you
If
didn't
I
have to do all that and you could be home
yeah,
every
if
night,
I had a
would you do that?
chance, if I had an opportunity to get a curbside final mile around my area, I'd do it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, I'd do it. Of course I do. If the money is good and I could scale. So like being on OTR for the 9 months I've been on, I'm on my second truck in 9 months. I rent right now, but I'm in the process about to buy. Hello, you hear me? I had a phone call.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been doing this since November. I'll be a year in once November hit. And I'm already on the second truck doing OTR. So I mean, I don't mind if I find the opportunity doing final mile.
Yeah, somebody. This was one of the topics somebody put in the chat when I asked. So I thought more people was going to talk about it, but me personally, I never did OTR. You know, and if I could turn back the hands of time, knowing what I know now, would I would have done it? No. Um, uh, uh, the opportunity is there because there's a lot of outbound freight coming out of my market, but you know, at the time when I came into the industry, with what the operational costs were in comparison to what the revenue was, what the companies were paying to do final mile work, and how easy it was at that time period to find labor, I would still do final mile. Um, OTR is cool, but to me personally, in my opinion, coming from a market where anything that I'm gonna get into, I should be successful. If I understand, business and costs, I would do I would do final mile all over again.
What
And
have you
transportation,
what have you
go ahead.
expanded your business?
Say that again.
I was gonna say, what have you expanded your business to where you was covering your market and you had to go OTR? Would that be an option?
You said if I expanded my business into the OTR lane,
Yeah, you was covering all your market, where you need to cover, and you just had extra trucks laying around. Would you consider OTR
no,
then?
no. I mean, I could have expanded further with final mile, but I just hit that point where I hit that pinnacle point. So where the ability, the effort that I wanted to put in, I just felt like I hit that max, and the resources that I had around me to get to the point that I got to, I just think we just maxed out, and I was comfortable there. To take on anything additional, I wouldn't have wanted to do it consistently throughout the year. I was doing Obviously during the summertime, I would go out and acquire additional trucks just to get that overflow because I'm not leaving nothing on the table. But to even what I would acquire to get the overflow at peak, I wouldn't want to do that consistently throughout the year. So um, OTR was just not something that I wanted to do. I thought about it, um, but me when we had long distance moves, it was kind of nerve wracking. All right, and that was I don't want to say it was far and few between, but you're not moving someone long distance every day. But when I had long distance moves, it was kind of nerve wracking for me because now I got a person or a crew that's out of market that I'm still responsible for, and I have to make sure that those household goods get from Chicago to wherever in the country safely, and I also have to make sure the team gets there safely. So uh, it's more work associated with. You got a person. I had times where I book a room for a team, let's say, that was traveling cross country at the Red Roof. I used to like to use Red Roof, um, and it might have been an issue. So I'm getting that call at 2 in the morning, or 3 in the morning, whatever time it was, because now I gotta. I don't know. It was something one time with Expedia. I booked them a room on Expedia, and for some reason they wasn't accepting or something, so I had to rebook it directly with my credit card. But I had to take care of that. If it was something I was gonna have to do just consistently, because I got a multitude of trucks that are running across the country, that's just not something that I was interested in doing. There was plenty of money here in this local market for final mile and moving that I was content with.
All right, all right. 5 star,
Five
you there?
star, 5 star. You got a hot
Yo,
mic.
I'm
I'm here. I'm
five
here.
star.
What's up?
5 star, being that you got a cargo van and a box truck, would you ever feel comfortable putting another driver in either one to do OTR or final mile? Would you ever be comfortable doing that? And why?
No, I would not be comfortable doing that.
Why not?
Um, because being on the road, working at a three PL, uh, seeing Amazon, I see how other drivers treat equipment, and you know, nobody's gonna treat my cargo van or my box truck the way I would. And I'm just not at this time. I don't have the patience to deal with that nonsense. So that's why uh, I wouldn't do it.
So being that you wouldn't do that, would you take your own vehicles OTR? or would you just stay final mile like you are?
I wouldn't go OTR. I would do more regional.
It's saying I think it's easier to scale um doing final mile also.
Why?
Definitely,
Can you let the people
definitely
know why?
easier. Maybe not for the
Like
maybe not for the
like
the,
what?
the talent. Maybe not it's, the talent, but the opportunity I think is easier.
Right. So I feel like it's way easier. Um, it's just more pros in my opinion, especially when you're trying to find guys to work.
So you don't think it's
Oh
no
man.
pros in OCR to scale?
Nah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like I think it's more pros. You know what I'm saying? Because the guys, if I can come to somebody that's looking for work and they're gonna be home every night, because you know a lot of us got families. You're gonna be home every night, gonna pay you good. You know what I'm saying? And you get tips. I mean, and then I know, like I said, just like Buddy was saying earlier, it's a lot of people that don't want to lift refrigerators and go upstairs. You know, to me, taking a refrigerator upstairs, that's nothing. You know, that's light work. That's how all my guys see it. It's light. Like once you've been trained on how to do it, it's you know what I'm saying. It's nothing. So like that's another reason I think I like Final Mile better because a lot of people have that. You know, they don't want to lift that heavy shit. So you know, it's easier for me to find guys that'll go lift that heavy shit. And it's not even really heavy. Like you always gonna have stuff that people don't want to do, just like moving. You know what I'm saying? I see it. It's the same way. How Mark was saying, good economy, bad economy. People gonna need to get moved. Good economy, bad economy. People's refrigerators gonna go out. You got to get another one. Washer and dryer go out. You got to get another one. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of on the same thing.
Okay, okay.
Oh,
Be easy.
I,
Can you
I
hear me?
I think I don't know. I think it's easier to scale doing OTR. I put an ad on Craigslist, and I got like 50 people that called me,
But how long
and
have you
just
been in business?
9 months.
All right,
9 months, and
9 months.
I think I found more people that was willing to go OTR than willing. I mean, they was just because they just want to drive,
But
and
how
it's a
many
lot of
trucks are you
older.
running
It's a
right
lot of
now?
older people. Just two right now, but it's a lot of older. Like me, I'm not gonna get a 25-year-old to go OTR. Like they got to be at least 35 and up.
Right.
They gotta, you know what I mean? So like the guy I got now, he's same age as me. He in his 40s. He's done it before. He had experience. He don't mind it. You get people that's older, that their kids are older. They don't want to be home. They'd rather be on the road as long as they get home like once a month. I mean, every other month, like probably stay on the road for about 2 months, month and a half or whatever. I stay on the road at least 2.5, 3 months. That's just me. But like I
Yeah,
said,
I haven't.
I had
Yeah,
like
I
50
haven't been
people
home.
apply.
I haven't been home in like 3 months. I've just been doing OTR, and I'm
Yeah.
22 years old.
Uh, I mean, I don't mind a 20, but plus when it comes to OTR, you get an older person, your insurance isn't gonna go up as much.
Yeah, all my drivers that I have are over 30. Like I don't have nobody that's on
Okay.
my insurance that's because you know, like I run 6 trucks right now. And
Okay.
I do final mile and like I'm not even in 2 years in business yet. Like I hit my
Okay.
2 year mark in October. That's why like, you know, and it's situational, depending on your market. Depending on where
Yeah.
you at. Like it's easier. It was easy for me, you know, because I was willing to get on the truck and work. Like some days I still get on the truck and work. You know, if I want to get on the truck, some days I just want to go work. Like I'm like that. I like working with my
Yeah.
hands. So that's why I say for me is, you know, scaling with Final Mile was nothing. Like you know,
Okay.
as like Mark say, as long as you come in with your costs low and know your costs, like it's not it's
But
the shit simple, bro.
yeah, I'm yeah.
All right, let's jump into this next topic. Uh, Cost. Since he's talking about cost, I mean, I know I just did the live stream, so it might be a little bit yeah, just repetitive. But what's some of you guys' ways that you guys lower your costs for your business, whether it be within the business or delaying your gratification on the personal side and paying yourself less? What's some of the ways that y'all are
That's
lowering
what
your
I do.
costs to compete?
I yeah, that's what I do. I delay everything. I don't have kids, and my cost of living is like I'm not even I don't really have to spend on shit. Like I have an older truck. Um, like I have a 2015, which it'll be paid off this year. And my plan, my goal is to have all my trucks. You know what I'm saying? I pay one truck off, and then I'm gonna try to pay. It's just paying. Not for me. It's knocking buying these trucks outright. Like that's my main thing over the next 1 or 2 years. Like I'm trying to phase out the rentals that I have and just buy the trucks outright. That's where I see that I can cut the most costs. And then as far as my spending, I don't, bro, I don't spend nothing. If it's not my bills and if it's not essential, I don't go out. I don't do none of that. I've done all that, so I don't have like the land gratification. I was doing all that anyway, so that just works for me. I don't spend shit. Everything goes to the business account. So I don't, if it, unless it's necessary, I don't spend anything. I save everything or I invest it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm the same way. Um, I'm trying to cut my costs by getting out of the rentals. I want to buy. I don't want to finance. I want to buy my truck outright. That's my So couple months I should be able to do that. As a personal side, I had to give up. I had a Tesla before I got in this box truck. What you call it? I was paying 1,100 a month for my Tesla. I just took the loss on that joint. I said, man, I'm gonna give it back. Voluntary repo, y'all can come get it because I'm always on the road. So I just took the loss on that, loss with my credit or whatever. But I wasn't tripping. It was a bill I had to get rid of. So I took it that route. Um, but I'm trying to get out these rentals now so I can buy a truck outright.
How do you handle, and this is related to cost, but how do you handle fuel when it comes to your guys driving, like whether it's OTR or whether it's final mile? Do you give them a fuel card or do you just have them, do you reimburse them and have them show receipts?
I
Like, how does
use
that work?
No,
MudFlap.
I'm with RTS, so I got a RTS fuel card, and they take the money out of the business account every Tuesday and Friday. So I give my guy a fuel card, and he just uses the fuel card. It comes out the business account every Tuesday and Friday.
That's the same with me. I have a mud flap fleet, so I have it capped. They can only spend like 125 to 150 a day, and usually, I usually know when my trucks need def, so I'll just throw that extra $20 on there for def. So usually it's really like 125 to 130 a day they spend it. So I know it's not going over that. Then it comes out like they take it out every Tuesday, so I can control everything. What I'm trying to do right now, since I am coming up on my 2 years, is trying to find cheaper insurance. That's something else. My broker and I are working on. Me and him been texting all day trying to find piece together a cheaper insurance package for I renew in October. So which I should be able to get a whole lot cheaper now. That's another area where I'm trying to cut costs currently. And then a lot of my maintenance, like I do most of on my truck, I do all my oil changes. On the rentals, they do them, but that's one thing. Like I've been thinking, I've I actually considered going to get my little 2 year like diesel mechanic ACS certification, so I could just work on all my own trucks in my in my spare time. That was something I was considering. So that's another area I was like, it's a possibility where I could do that. I don't know if I'm going to follow through with it, but I was like, I'm good with my hands. I worked on cars before. I already changed my shit, so I don't see it couldn't be. I could pretty much do all my own services and anything small. I feel like I could do on my diesel. That's another way.
Yeah, that's one way I've been cutting costs too. Is I came from a mechanic background. I worked at a dealership for 4 years, and even though I never worked on diesel trucks, it was pretty easy to figure out how to change my oil, how to change my fuel filters, and stuff like that. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much that costs to take it to a shop, but I'm pretty sure I'm saving money at least just by changing my own oil and getting my own filters.
Yeah, about 500. Pay anywhere. It depends where I'm at. Um,
Five hundred
I-
dollars to get your oil changed on a 26-foot box truck?
yep, and that's with that's some places it might be like four something, but yeah, they charge.
I,
And so usually what I did. Oh, go ahead.
no, you got it. I was just gonna say I never bothered to check. I just figured it has to be cheaper. I always pay less than $100 worth of fuel plus the filter. I do it myself. So now that I know you telling me, I'm glad that
Yeah,
I'm doing a good thing. But yeah, you were
yeah,
saying.
yeah. That's another thing. They got to they got to get money anyway. So what I do is I typically go out and buy the parts myself. So if I need something and I'm somewhere and I need something fixed, an alternator, a battery, or whatever it is, and I can get to it, I typically go buy it, and I didn't say thousands of dollars. Like I done been to a shop where they tell me I needed an alternator or something with the depth, and how much is it? Oh, it's $800 for this part, and I go get it. It's 100 or maybe even $80 at the parts store. So that's one way. Another way, I cut calls. I try to utilize all these apps to like I use Gas Buddy, and that helps me save money on gas. And then I got my A to B fuel card, and they give you anywhere from 30 cents to $1 off by just adding money to this fuel card and using a system. And they charge you a little $3 monthly fee, but it's also reported on your business credit too.
Yeah, I've got one of those A to B cards, and I just recently got I got a pilot card. They gave me like 2 grand, and as long as I stay under, I do my budget based on $4 a gallon, but I'm always pumping for about 370 to 350. And then with in combination with, like you said, the app that you use, every now and then I'll get lucky and there'll be like some kind of discount where if you pay with this card, you get like an extra 12 cents back per gallon. And I've already gotten like $500 back that way. So yeah, I try to, the A to B card is pretty good too. Because it'll show
Yeah,
you
that's
if you have the A to B app,
yep,
you can hit find gas, and then you can hit route, and then just
yep,
plug in where you're going, and it'll show you all of the gas stations along the way that you're probably already taking whatever interstate you're on, and it'll show you all of them along the way and all the prices and what discounts you get. So A to B, I know they really like to. They might have like a partnership with TA because every
mhm,
TA is always like 46 cents off per gallon, 30 cents per gallon, 60 cents per
yeah,
gallon.
Yeah, that's the same way Mudflap is pretty
yeah.
much.
And
Yeah,
then,
Mud Flap
and
is
then
competitive too.
yeah, but I don't honestly. I'm not gonna. I think A to B, and because I got Mud Flap too, and um, I think for me, from what I experienced, I think mud flap is more for non-commercial vehicles because a lot of these gas stations, mud flap be recommending doesn't even have diesel. So, but maybe it's where the areas I'm going, but yeah, I
Yeah, I
try to
think it's
stick
the
with that.
areas you're going because it's got to be the areas because we pretty much travel the same routes up here and they all got
Right.
these, so it's probably just the area.
Yeah.
You can request, you know what I mean, like on there. I know it's side topic, but if you can request, like if you see a gas station that you want, well, I don't know about A to B, but I know on Mudflap, like you go and buy a
Hmm.
gas station that you see it's got cheaper diesel on the route, you can request that station, and if enough people request, if it's enough drivers going past said route, then they'll add it. I've had like um the Weagles. Because they didn't have Weagles up here, and Weagles was like it was some of the cheapest fuel in the city. So we finally got it
Hmm.
on there. They added Weagles within like 2 weeks. Like I've been up here, I've been slapping diesel for like 2.99,
Right.
2.89.
Yeah.
So
That's what it been lately. It been going down. And like right now in Texas, it's 286, and that's before the discounts and all that. So
right,
yeah, it's definitely a lot of ways you can lower your costs because gas that helps out a lot, and then your parts. Like I go to Sam's Club and I go buy the most expensive oil, and when I got it from, because I go to Loves and get my oil change or whatever, whoever available when I want to get it done.
mm,
And
they
I be
tearing your mouth
getting,
out when you go over there.
no,
Pause.
not. They
They
really not.
ain't.
No, because I start buying my own parts and they only charging me 100. It's like 100 something. Everywhere is different taxes, but it's like 100 something with, I think, when they grease, because you got to get
Yeah, you
your
gotta get
PM,
that
you got to get
fucking
everything
grease.
greased and
Yeah.
everything. They charge me for that, so it'd be like $100 now. So versus me buying all the parts and taking it somewhere getting it done, it'd be like $300. But when I was buying everything, it was 400, 500. I even went somewhere over there in PA and it was $600. So
Shit, I had my mechanic. I told him, I said, "Look, I need you to show me how to do this." He showed me how to do it. Like I watched, like the dude I know, he worked on my truck a couple of times. I'm real cool with him. Like he's real close with my cousin. It's an Ash Transport. They got their own transportation service. But I watched him do it, and then I went and bought my own fucking grease gun. I went and did all that because it's. I mean, the oil changes that's simple. That ain't really nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, shit, I can do that. You can just do all my big shit. Like if I need some like he got to put a fan. My air conditioner went out. I just got to replace a fan, so he's gonna do that for me. But all my oil changes, all my small shit, nah, I do that.
like I said, I can do most of the stuff, but it just be like when you over the road and like, man, I be
Right?
so tired. I
Yeah.
just I want to chill. When I get my time to chill, I want to chill. So I would love to do it myself and save some more money, but it's just far as how much sleep you get, and you know what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't pay nobody to wash my truck, but I do that. So yeah, it's definitely it's a different ball game on that road.
Facts. That's why I don't want to do it. Y'all can
I'm
have it.
I'm
Y'all
trying to
can
get
have
like
it.
you.
Y'all
I'm
can have
definitely,
it.
man. I'm definitely going, one truck here, one truck there, but right now, shit, you gotta get it while it's getting good, while the money good, cause shit, a lot of people, you know what they saying, it's gonna get a lot worse. So, yeah.
Hmm.
Anybody else with costs? All right, let's get to the last topic because I'm trying to keep
Hey,
these.
Mark, let me ask you one question real quick.
Go ahead.
When as you were scaling, like like in your second year in business, did you see like a huge drop in your insurance prices, or was it along the same? It was just your relationship, or I guess I'm asking, was it the length and time you was in business, or you know what I'm saying, was just the relationships you had?
So around the second or third year, I saw a drop because on the trucking side, the final mile side, I went from interstate to intrastate. So to answer that question, if you still have an MC, I can't really answer that question because once my broker told me like you're not crossing state lines on the trucking side, drop the MC and the price will go down significantly.
Right.
That's why my price went down. Now I can tell you this, obviously, with these 3PLs, they require you to have an interstate MC, but when I dropped it, nobody ever like came and questioned it. Even the companies that I applied for going forward, there wasn't no issues. So my price dropped because I dropped my MC on the trucking
Right.
side.
But that's
So
just because you stayed in the state, right?
never left the state. Now I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. There might have been something where we had to go over to Indiana, but if it was like something that was on the border of Illinois, like Hammond, Indiana, where I just literally crossed the border, then yeah, I'm not finna like I'm not, it ain't no big deal, you know what I'm saying? It is, but it really ain't. Like going up to Wisconsin, like to Kenosha, like literally when you crossing that border and you on Kenosha, that Kenosha side, right there, Illinois and Wisconsin, I might have took a chance on that and did a delivery here and there. But for the most part, 99.5% of the time, trucks didn't cross. So it was no sense
Yeah,
of me
we
So
paying
Mark,
all that extra money for an MC, uh, and my trucks were running uh, within the state.
well, so I cover too many. We cover Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama, so I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
I
you
would
couldn't
like
do it.
to
You couldn't
though.
do it.
Damn, I would like to. All right, that's what. Yeah,
Mm.
appreciate it.
so Mark, when when you had the over the road move, how did you go about that with your insurance?
That was a different company, so that's different. Yeah, we had all the authority on that side. And that insurance is sky high because it's household goods moving, but I'm making a shit ton of money. So it's high, but you don't really feel it. Like it's high as hell, but shit, if you got enough clientele, then it's just a bill. That's all you got, Great Polo? Great Polo. All right, I guess so. All right, so the last and final
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, I'm back inside work. It's too noisy for me to keep going. But yeah, that's all I got.
All right, so yeah, so the next thing is what happened to Amazon? A lot of people complain about Amazon in comparison to how they talked about it 2 years ago. So I have a sense of what happened, but for just the purpose of people that'll be consuming this content at a later date, what ultimately happened to Amazon as far as where it was at 2 3 years ago to where it's at today? Come on now, I know it's a bunch of Amazon people in here.
What's the question again, Mark?
What happened to Amazon? What happened? Why do people hate it now?
Well, I mean, Amazon in the last couple years, they've made a lot of changes. They've implemented a lot of different things from facial recognition to, uh, you know, you can't have ghost drivers. You can't put more than one load on your truck at one time. Now, obviously, some markets have started to pilot and implement, you know, DSPs running postal routes, but that's not every market yet. So that factors into uh, the markets that it does affect. And then Amazon is just they're changing everything, like the routes they're combining routes now where they normally would have had an Amazon to Amazon route be by itself. Now they're combining that with a post office route. So they're making it into like a little mini block, and people are taking that for, you know, $1.80 a mile. So, you know, they're
So
just
let me ask.
doing. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go
Finish
ahead.
your thought. So is
No,
that
I'm done.
because it seems okay? So is this just bad for all the people who were running Amazon, or is this better? Are some owner operators are looking at this as better opportunity for them? Because I know a lot of people are not happy about it, but is this better for the overall system, or is it just better for Amazon?
I would say it's better for Amazon, and it's not good for your normal owner operator that has one truck or two trucks, because if you have an owner operator that has 5 trucks, well, they're going to book whatever they book, and they're paying their drivers, whatever they're paying them. So they don't care if they run 200, 300 miles a night. They're still paying their driver whatever they're paying them. And they have 5 trucks moving 7 days a week. So, in the long run, they're still making out. But it's hurting the owner operators that are one truck or 2 trucks.
So basically, it's for the master contractor. Let's say it's a good thing because it's weeding out the competition. There's less people to compete with, right? These these these
Yeah.
these protocols are definitely getting rid of people. There's people that just don't want to adhere to these new policies, right?
Yes, and then when you factor in the performance metric, if you if you have to reject a load because your truck breaks down, well, now for the next 6 weeks, your score, or for the next 6 active weeks, your score is, probably not going to be very good. So you're not going to see, you're gonna get the scraps that are left over that nobody is booking. And, you know, if you're in that predicament and you have to move your truck, then you're just going to book whatever you see, whatever you can get your hands on, you're going to book because you're just trying to make any kind of money. So, you know, then it is what it is.
Anybody else run Amazon or ran Amazon and no longer run it, or
I got a correction on that. As far as if you drop a load, if you run 10 consistent loads now, they'll fix your score. So it's 10 consistent ones. They dropped that from the 6 weeks, working 6 weeks to 10 consistent loads. You don't have to be back to back to back, but you just have to book 10 loads without a problem, and your score readjusts now.
Okay, that's not how I read that, but I mean, did you get that from Amazon?
Yes, that was sent out probably about 2.5 to 3 months ago.
Well, no, I read that email. I'm saying, did you get that from somebody that works at Amazon, or did you just get that in the email?
No, I got that from the email, and I actually went through it. I dropped
Okay.
2 consistent lows, and then I ran 10 straight with no problems, and they readjusted my score. 'Cause I had a truck that broke down, rental truck went down, and somebody wasn't coming out to me for a couple hours. So I'd already been through that several times. And it used to be, just like you said, 6 weeks straight. I had that horrible behind weight as well, too.
Okay.
I didn't went to both of those rings right there.
So be easy. You run Amazon. What's your thoughts on it? How long you been running it?
But
What's your
No.
definitely,
thoughts on?
you're right on every single thing else. And then I would say Amazon is exactly. I know Mark hates the word cheap freight, but that is the only one that isn't affected by people pulling the lows, because if people let the lows sit there, they do mature to get higher. This is the only load board that I know of that is considered people will take cheap freight. And like you said, people take it because they're desperate. They either can't book loads on DAT because their MC's still too new and nobody works with them, or they got something on their record to where nobody wants to work with them, so all they can do is Amazon and gig work. So this is the only load board that I'll actually say that this cheap rate does apply, because if people get at $1.50, $1.84, instead of letting it get to $2 or more, it kind of hurts everybody else, even if you got early bird.
So you saying Amazon is a place where all the rookies are forced to go?
Yes,
So
as of right now, it is. Some people got
how
their stuff lined up, squared away, where they lock in a whole bunch of jobs, or you got some that what's that other guy that Vic? He did the contract. See, I knew about the contracts way before, that they try to underpay you ridiculously versus just running a load that has one stop, and you'll make a killing that way. But other people don't seem to understand that, or understand their deadhead to get to Amazon, plus doing the miles. So they'll end up doing 300 miles for $1.84, not even realizing it, thinking that they just only did the 200 miles that Amazon requested, because they're not including their deadhead. No one, even if someone lives directly by Amazon, unless you're going 90 miles, it's going to be hurtful for you. You're going to have to deadhead back home, or stay your butt out there to the next day and pick up something off the load board to not be hurt by that.
how long
Hey,
have you?
I just
Go ahead. Transportation.
no, I just had a quick question. I thought Amazon said your authority had to be active for what is it? 90 days now, or
100. It's 180 days.
It's
Six
6 months
months.
okay?
now.
Oh, okay, they went up. Okay, all right. I just was, because
So
yeah, I
so
seen dude basically saying, oh, as soon as you get active, you can run, Amazon. But I'm like, how's that possible? So okay, now I understand. Go ahead, Mark.
so
My
so
bad.
be easy. How long have you been running Amazon for?
3 years now. When I first
So
got in, like it just said, it was 90 days. And the minute I got 90 days, Amazon called me, and I was running ever since. And I've done an OTR and regular Amazon locally.
so what's your thoughts on all the changes since you've been doing it since what 2021?
Yes, or 2022, December, pretty much from December 2022. So I'm about to be
So
3 years on it.
December 2022, you're gonna be 2 years. Then you mean it's gonna be December 2024.
Sorry about that. Not 21, right? 21
20.
December is when I got in.
Okay. All right. So what's your thoughts on all the changes that have been made?
Well, the worst changes was when they started implementing. I think I heard you spoke about it, when Amazon offered you to have your own fleet of Amazon trucks. So that
Mm-hmm.
was the biggest change. That's where we started losing a lot of freight. People weren't noticing, but that's where a lot of people started losing their freight at, is because you started seeing those blue Amazon trucks pull up, taking the same routes that you would normally do. So that was probably, I don't know, maybe a year ago, maybe a lot longer than that. But that was the first hurtful part of the situation. The second would be, as that gentleman just said, that they're now mixing in block loads with regular route loads. The loads are no longer in order, as in what would be closest to Amazon going to its last stop being its farthest. Now they have you running in circles, passing stops that you would normally drop off first and keep on pushing to the next one, just to be doing it. There's no specific reason for it. It's not because if the Amazon postal, or not the Amazon, but the post office is open or not, because most of the time you're dropping off the load and no one's there anyways. So they've now changed routes that I've been running at least for a year straight consistently with no problem, to now adding it backwards, where I'll pass a stop where, say, for instance, I come from Durham going into Jacksonville. My first stop would be Richlands, because Richlands is right outside of Jacksonville. Then I would go to Jacksonville to Hubert. They now skip Richlands, make me go straight to Jacksonville, then to Hubert, and then come all the way back out to Richlands.
Hmm.
That's
So it's
one way
not
that they do it.
optimized.
Or no, they don't optimize it no more. It's not all of them are like that. That's why I try to stick with loads with 1 to 2 stops. But that's another thing that's bad for it. And then two, if your score is bad, just like that gentleman said as well, if your score is bad, you have a great chance of getting some loads. And then there's days that you're not going to see none. You're only going to get to see all the good loads if you got a bad score 1 to 2 days out the week. If you don't book a week's worth of loads, then you're pretty much screwed, or praying that somebody calls you and lets you pick your own price.
Well, with everything that you know that's going on, what's your strategy going forward? Because they're only going to keep implementing changes, and they're only going to
I
continue
mean,
to add more trucks.
strategy going forward, if I do decide to go OTR, because I used to have consistent route all the way to Gallatin, Tennessee, from Wilmington, North Carolina. I would use it in the middle of the night if I want to. Locally, I only do that if I don't have a job specifically lined up for the next day. So if I know where I want to be at, because I'm from North Carolina, so I know where my hot loads and stuff is going to be at every day of the week for the most part. Nothing's guaranteed, but I use that in a sense. If I don't have a load booked for the next day prior, I use Amazon to put me in that city that I want to be in, and I wait there till about 7:45 in the morning till something hits for me. So I no longer like let Amazon be my end all be. Amazon is just an extra fix on, or extra addition. I try to run it at least 3 to 4 times a week. Worst case scenario, I run it once or twice. But it's not my main bread and butter. Can you make it off of that? Yes, you definitely can live off of Amazon if you're happy with getting about $3,500 to $4,000 a week. But more and more changes is going to bring more and more strict rules. Um, you definitely, when you have somebody that you're working with or you have working under you, that's going to be a major problem if they decide to sleep in. I know a lot of people that get their score jacked up because one of their employees or buddies can't wake up enough time to drive all the way out to Durham, and they miss their route. And there's nothing you can do about that,
Right.
because once you're late, that's it.
Hey, be easy. Do you think it's
Yes.
on Amazon to pay you to come back for deadheads?
Amazon will pay you to come back if they mess up. Now you have to prove it. That's happened to me before. You have to prove that they messed up. Or say, for instance, post office, it's an annex. Some of these are annex. If nobody's there and they're closed, and say, for instance, their post office person screwed off and never showed up for work, that place is locked. You're not getting into it. So once you contact Amazon, what's going to happen is you let them know that you can't get in this gate because whoever didn't show up for their shift and it ain't open. They're going to tell you to finish your route and bring it back. Then they're going to pay you to come back. How much? It just depends on where you're at, what the location is, and how far you have to travel back. But most of that's negotiations. And once
Yeah, I'm,
once you have Amazon by the balls, you pretty much can name any number you want, and they're going to jump for it.
yeah, I drive for somebody, but I'm not an owner operator. But I had a situation where they sent me to Springfield, and the post office supposed to open at 12, and they wasn't there. So I called Rock, and they advised me to wait an hour and a half. Do
Right.
you agree with that? If they put you on the wait time?
See, the thing is, you need to pay attention to your actual drop off time. A lot of us that are actually proficient with it, We get there almost hour, 2 hours early. We're in and out. So that sounds like your kind of situation where you've gotten your load, you loaded up quick, you're gone, and you're there. You're probably there almost an hour early. So they're going to tell you to wait to the exact drop off time. And that could be an hour for you. That could be 2 hours for you. It could be 3 hours for you. And you have to wait. Now, no, I don't think it's fair at all, but and they don't pay you detention time. But that's just one thing you got to also remember. You kind of want to stay within your schedule, but also be early as much as possible. But that all depends on your route. Anybody that does Amazon should be booking based off of where they stay at, their terminal, where they're dropping their truck off, their mileage. All that needs to go into consideration before just booking a load that says $400 for 160 miles. Sounds awesome, but where are you going to be left at the end of the day? Are you going to be left in a dead zone? Are you going to have to deadhead 2.5 hours back home? So you kind of pick your poison when you deal with them, especially when they tell you that your drop off time is 4 a.m., but you've picked up from Amazon at 12 and your first stop is only 30 minutes away. Does that make any sense?
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I was early on that drive. Yeah, I agree. I understand everything. I was just asking how you feel about it.
Oh no, like I said, it sucks, but it's part of the game. There's tractor trailer 53 footers that drive, and when they drive for the company, not all of them get detention pay. Some of them do, but a lot of them boys got to sit there for hours just to have their truck unloaded when they work for a company and doing this locally as well too. So I just call it charges to the game pretty much.
I don't like the lack of consistency. Amazon has all these policies, procedures, but there's no consistency. Whether I go to Amazon in New York or I go to an Amazon in Michigan or an Amazon in North Carolina, it should all be the same if they're following the same policies and procedures that Amazon has. But each Amazon does their own different thing.
You're definitely right about that. Amazon has ones for box trucks from Garner, Durham, Charlotte, and Graham, and each one of them operate completely different. Some can be completely unorganized. Some could cause you to be late. And then some can run perfectly. Like this should be the model for all Amazons. I done been to Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky, um, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia on a consistent basis for at least a year and a half. And like you said, none of them run the same. If they do run the same, that's because they run good. If they don't run the same, that's because those are the ones that are all bad.
Like, for example, if there's lightning strikes in the area, they're supposed to shut the yard down for a specified amount of time. Not every Amazon does that. Some stay wide open and then some just shut down. But that's just one example.
Hey, Five Star, do you agree with having to wait to get it in the yard versus if you cancel and they penalize you for it? Do you think that's fair?
Say that again?
You know, when like the thunderstorms happen and stuff, and you got to sit there and wait at the guard gate to get in. Sometimes some people be waiting 2, 3 hours. Do you think that's fair to you as a business owner? If you were to cancel that load and they penalize you?
So here's the thing. If you're already there and you're waiting, you know, you can wait it out. Now, if you cancel the load and you use like the cancellation code as weather won't affect your performance score. Now, you know, if you cancel because you're waiting too long and Amazon penalizes you, I disagree with that, but that's just Amazon. But I do know that if you're sitting there and you have to wait 2 or 3 hours to get in, then, you know, the first 2 hours is free. So after 2 hours, Amazon's going to pay you detention at like $50 an hour, I think it is. But it has to be
Okay.
past your 2 hours after your
Attention.
scheduled departure. Yeah.
All right. What about you, Be Easy? How you feel about that?
Be easy, not here no more.
Uh,
Anybody else? Any thoughts on Amazon as far as where it was at to what it is, what it has become? I don't know if anybody else is up here that does Amazon. Let me see. Nope. Everybody else is pretty much cargo van, over the road, final mile. Yep. So that's it. Yep. So that's it. Any final thoughts? All right. I'm gonna conclude it. Appreciate you guys.